Welcome to the True Love Secrets Revealed Telesummit. Today we have such a treat. She is an amazing, amazing woman, and I cannot wait to hear the value she's going to be sharing with us. Okay, so sit tight. She's Lucia Gabriela. She is a trauma-informed relationship and intimacy coach, somatic therapist, tantra facilitator, kink practitioner, and tantric kink creator. We are going to hear more about that in a few moments. She helps individuals and couples to master their life, relationships, and intimacy with themselves and others. As a result, clients learn how to develop conscious and meaningful intimacy. She also specializes in and works with individuals whose journey is to liberate themselves from emotional and sexual traumas. She helps them reclaim their creative power, body, voice, sensuality, and sexuality, and welcomes pleasure into their lives, creations, and relationships. Welcome, Lucia. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Natalia, for having me here today.
Oh my God, my pleasure, my pleasure. The first thing that comes to my mind is maybe you want to introduce us a little bit to a question that I get a lot with my clients. I work only with women, and our audience is only women. I know you work with couples and all that, but just for context. They said, Natalia, what is intimacy? So Lucia, what is intimacy?
Well, you know, when it comes to the realm of intimacy and sexuality and even sensuality, one of the things that I like to invite people is to tap into the vibration that the word inspire within them. In other words, to give ourselves permission to feel the word into our body and allow our body to express that to us. So for some people, intimacy can really look in different ways. The dictionary defines intimacy in a different way than my body will define intimacy, right? So even if we Google right now what intimacy is, the dictionary is going to tell us something. And I like to tap into the vibration of the word intimacy. So if I'm like really tapping into and breathing into the word of intimacy, what is that for me? What is that create within me? What that transpire within me? And for me personally is the sense of the playful expression, internal expression of my erotic essence, right? So to me, it's more of like when I'm talking about intimacy, it's like it goes into a journey of within and out. So it's like where I go into the journey within myself to connect with others, because intimacy and the point is an essence or an aspect of connecting with other people in a way that is meaningful, that is fulfilling, that is heart to heart, soul to soul, belly to belly, right? Like those elements of connection. And what's really important for all of us is to connect with the word and to connect with the meaning of that word. And for me, intimacy is an inner journey of erotic expression, inner journey of love expression, is that inner journey of self-connection with myself, because nothing can happen outside of me if it doesn't happen within me. So no connection can exist outside of myself if I'm not connected with myself. Those become very superficial connections. So all start within. And it sounds like we're repeating this over and over and over. And I know that many facilitators and practitioners, speakers are going to speak about this. Go within, go inside. The truth and the reality and the fact is that it starts within.
Right.
And the definition itself is it starts within.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so how can these ladies start to create this intimacy between themselves? Because what I see that happens a lot with my clients is they are so into their doing energy, they are so into, you know, what we call masculine energy, that when they go on dates, they can't really connect with the men because they talk about work, or they talk about the weather, or they try to super analyze what's going on. They are trying to figure it out if the guy is going to be a good husband or a good father. So how can these ladies start to create that intimacy with themselves so they can express that when they go on dates? And is it safe actually to express that on a date? So maybe 2 questions in one.
No, I understand. And I think I'm hearing is this desire to help women to connect with themselves, the intimacy, so they can actually create meaningful relationships outside of them.
Right.
And when it comes to intimacy, it is an inner journey. So, but the question I'm thinking I'm hearing is like, how can I be intimate with myself, right? As a woman, how can I be intimate? How can I be sensual? How can I be sexual? How can I be erotic? How can I be? And what the question that we're not asking ourselves is what it is I'm not giving myself permission to.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm keeping asking myself a question like, how can I be intimate? How can I create amazing, radical, sexy, juicy, orgasmic intimacy within myself? What is stopping me from it? The reason why I'm not being intimate with myself is because I have a fear, one of those, or I have a blockage, which usually leads to fear. Or I have a limitation, which usually lead us to mindset. What it is I'm not giving myself permission to explore within my intimacy? Where's the fear? What it is that I'm not seeing myself? Like what it is that I'm not giving myself permission to see within myself, I'm afraid of. Because this is the honest truth, Natalia, is that we decide to connect with our partners, our lovers, in a very delicious, intimate way.
Right.
And we can't do that if we fear ourselves. We can't do that if we fear our deepest desires, if we fear our deepest darkness, and sensual, sexy darkness, right? Or even our shadows. If we fear part of ourselves, we cannot experience truth intimacy.
Right.
It just doesn't happen. It's like you can easily come to me, Natalia, or any other facilitator, and we can give you quote unquote the tools and the practices. At the core of all of this, intimacy is inviting us to dive deeper within ourselves and face our own fears. That's why intimacy is freaking scary for so many people, because they have a fear of inner knowing their own depth. Intimacy is about depth. It's not about anything superficial. When you are in an intimate relationship with someone, you are there to explore depth. So how can I be intimate with myself? I would say we're starting the journey of asking myself what it is that I'm not giving myself permission to be intimate with myself. Because whatever I'm not giving myself permission, it's going to be on the surface, and it's going to be blocking me and distracting me, and it's going to be like sabotaging me. You're talking about, the aspect of work, like many, women, we're going to work, we're using different distractions. Believe it or not, sometimes distractions are utilized to avoid intimacy. Right. So when we don't want to be in an intimate relationship with somebody, we literally fall into all distractions. Or we are too busy, or we sick, or we this, or we that, or it's like too much, or it's like I'm too overwhelmed. I'm like, we give ourselves permission to be distracted. We don't give ourselves permission to be intimate.
Right. Yes, the fear is it's deep. It runs very deep. What
It
comes
is.
up for me is being inadequate. Like, what about if I explore this intimacy with myself, within myself, and I really like it and I bring it up, and then I bring it to the table to my man, and then he's not into it, or he gets scared, or, he's not part of that. It's like, it's that fear of the unknown, expressing ourselves fully. And
One of the greatest fears that we have as human beings is rejection.
right.
And it's one of the greatest fears as a human experience in our humanity. When we are in the belly of a mother, we are fully connected to that being, and that mother is everything to us. Is our universe, is the beginning and the end of our universe. That's how powerful motherhood is. Like the mother, the womb, the power of the womb. Even if we don't have children, there is the power of the infinity of the beginning at the end, right? Like the beginning of life and the end of the cycle. Now we creating that sense of connection, and no human in human history have ever survived from rejection. If children are not, if babies are not touched, we know the scientific background on this, where they have done a study where babies are not touched at all, which is a cruel experiment. And even like, I think, like, believe it, that they did it with the monkeys as well. Like with monkeys and babies were not touched. What happened? They don't survive. They get sick. So in a sense of like, rejection is an act of pushing away an individual, pushing away something. So just the fact of being pushing away is not being part of being in, right? It is like being part of something or someone. And not being part of something or someone, it can really break someone apart, in the sense that the self-esteem goes down, the confidence goes down, the sense of purpose goes down, because they don't feel like they're part of anything. If I am not part of anything, of something, of this wholeness, what is my purpose here? So rejection is one of the things that I feel like it just doesn't allow. It's like one of the deepest fears that we have in humanity. Nobody wants to be rejected. But sometimes we create this muscle of like, receiving as much rejection as we can to be strong. But there's a part within ourselves that is facing the rejection in a different way, that is affecting us at a psychological, subconscious, somatic, emotional, physical level, all realms that you can possibly think of. It affects us. Not feeling like we are wanted, desire, crave, that we are part of the purpose, that we are part of the tapestry of this universe. Not having that feeling that we are a part of something and someone, it's one of the greatest fears that we have. The sense of lost. It's just, we can't survive.
Right. So that's the first step, is to heal. That's the first step, to face our fears, to do the hard work, to get to a place where we feel okay about embracing our intimacy. And once we are in that place where we are good, where the terrain is fertile, what is the second step that they can take? So is that when they can learn the skills and the tools and the different ways of being intimate?
So what I think I'm hearing is like, okay, so we put in this into step of how we're healing intimacy within ourselves, correct?
Right.
So the first step is asking ourselves the deep, very great question of like, where I'm blocking myself from being intimate within myself, what it is I'm not giving myself permission. And that question leads us into a deeper level of understanding about our fears. right? What is my fear around this? Going deeper into the fear. When we have faced the fear, one of the questions I like to ask my clients is this is yours?
Mm.
If we're talking about step, I like to bring a lot of aspect of self-indagation, like self-inquiry.
Right.
Yeah. Where it's like, believe it or not, 99% of all the bullshit that we say, this where we talk about ourselves, that we say to ourselves, is not ours. It's not our shit. It's not our thing. It's not, we learn behaviors. We learn belief system. We inherit belief systems and traumas and dramas. And sometimes we inherit this information that is not ours. So at a deeper level, working within ourselves, asking ourselves the question, this is mine?
Right.
Is this fear mine? And go a little deeper into like, where did this come from? Because we can tune into my body and feel like, okay, is this fear of rejection mine? Probably not. Probably come from my mother.
Right.
And she experienced fear while she was pregnant of me. This fear of rejection, of not being wanted and being pushed and being abused and being told like, you are an imbecile, you are nothing to me, you are miserable, you're insignificant.
Mm.
That could come from my mother, that she experienced that and she passed it on to me.
Right.
This is a beautiful thing about women. And we have to give ourselves credit to that. We are the portal of information.
Mm.
We are the portal of information at the transferring of information between generations. That's how fucking powerful women are. That's what the oracles are about.
Mm.
Women were powerful because we transfer information to the next generation through a womb.
Mm.
Right?
Right.
A man need a fucking woman to transfer their fucking information. All right. And of course, women, we need a man to have that baby in there to transfer information. But in 9 months, we women, we absorb all the information and we pass it off into this portal. That's what birth, giving birth is like, bringing humans and consciousness into this human experience through the portal of a vagina, a pussy, a womanhood. And I was like, we are bringing this level of consciousness and awareness, and we pass it on information. We are portals of information. And we take ourselves for granted. And we don't become aware that whatever we perceive in 9 months of life, of babies developing inside, that information is passed on to them. Whatever we experience at a high intensity during pregnancy is going to be passed on to the children. And we know that through epigenetics.
Right.
And not just any kind of like medical or body information, but we're talking about subconscious information. So when we're talking about, okay, how do we heal our intimacy? It's not just the deep inner work, but it's a deep, dirty work. It get dirty. We really, my invitation for all of us who are listening to this summit is to give ourselves permission to be dirty in our inner work, because our inner work is fucking messy. It's a mess. It's not pretty. Transformation does not happen when you just an Instagram photo, like right there in front of like a lagoon, or in front of the waterfall, and making a fucking yoga pose. That's what transformation does not happen. The transformation will happen when you fucking fall out of the waterfall, and then you have something happen, a big bruise, and you like learn something about it.
Right.
Transformation happen when we give ourselves permission to be dirty in our inner work and to get messy, because this healing work of intimacy is not pretty. It can be messy as hell. And it can be difficult. Sometimes in my healing or transformation, my healing of my sensuality and my sexuality, I was literally in the bathroom crying my eyes out, with mascara all over, my hair fucking mess, boogers all over me. It was ugly. So that is another invitation when it comes to, we follow a step system, going deeper into ourselves. give ourselves permission to be vulnerable and to be messy and know that there's a beauty in it and the perfection of it. The other day, I'm a producer of festivals, tantra shamanic festivals here in the state of Florida. And I have one of my own facilitators that she does a lot of these seminars, a lot of these trainings, a lot of this stuff. And she really hit bottom, like in the sense of like vulnerability time. And she tells me, it's like, she's crying. She made it was like a whole big thing for her. She was on her period, and it was a very vulnerable time for her because she didn't give herself permission to be seen on being like she needed something, and she didn't want to be seen on her need. And she was crying, and it was like, I go not to the rescue, but I go to be of support. And if you need my help, I'm gonna be there for you. That's what I'm here for. So, I bring her out to my room, the air conditioner, blah, blah, blah. And she told me, how is this powerful, Lucia? I'm crying, like her whole face is crying, boogers. She's naked. She's like a mess. And I'm like, it is powerful because it's you and you giving yourself permission to be vulnerable and messy. And that's where healing of intimacy happens. When we give ourselves permission to heal the vulnerability within ourselves. Because how can we ask our partners and claim and and expect our partners or any future partner to be vulnerable with us when we're not giving ourselves permission to be vulnerable in our own messy times?
Right. Yes, no, it's impossible. It's impossible. We can't relate. We can't relate. It feels yucky. We have to go through it between ourselves for sure. The more we experience that, the more we can see it outside, and we can feel that we are okay because we already have been through that in a safe container, in a safe space. And that's important, and something that I would like to bring up is that all these transformations, as messy as it can be, it happens in a safe container. It happens in a place where we are holding space for these women to be themselves in any shape or form that they decide to be at that moment. And it's okay. Like they say at church, it's okay to not be okay. And from that space, the beauty emerges. It doesn't emerge really. We take the dirt, like you said, it's dirty work. I mean, you said so well. So we take the dirt out of our flower.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing about like doing this dirty work, dirty inner work, it is fulfilling. For all of us,
liberating.
It's liberating and it's fulfilling, because for all of us who are gardeners, and I have this, I have done gardening in my life, and it's like there's nothing beautiful, because if you think about it, the metaphor of dirty inner work is that the dirt is nourish us. The dirt becomes our fertilizer. The dirt and the mess is what allow us, our flowers, to thrive and the tulips to grow, and whatever plant you love. It's like the trees to go. The dirt allow us to do that. Yes, there are other plants out there that they grow in the air. Yeah, that's air plants. But 90%, I don't know, don't quote me on this one, but I imagine, my guess here is that we have a high number of plants in this planet that they need dirt to survive. And we are planet beings. We are humans in this planet. If we were on another planet where 90% or 99% of the plant life was air, coming from air, we would be airy beings. It would be a different planet, it would be a different human. But let's embrace our freaking earth. And the reason why we call it Earth, Madre Tierra. We are earth beings. And by being earth being, we are literally diving deeper into the inner work of working with the dirt and the earth with our souls.
Right. I love that. Yeah.
If we're not grounded, earth allows us to ground. If we're not grounded, we can't go. Like, we can't really be ourselves, like functional adults and functional humans. If we're too airy, we bypassing everything. Yeah. We need to embrace Mother Earth. We need to embrace earth. We need to embrace the dirt within ourselves.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. Thank you so much. And if you could share something else that you think it could help the ladies with their intimacy, their sexuality, what would that be to close the interview?
So if they can take something away from today, from this call, from this conversation, I would say that something that I invite all my clients is to see your life as this beautiful masterpiece that is continuously expanding and growing, and there's no end of the tapestry.
How beautiful.
Always growing and always evolving and always, you know, it's like when you look at when you look at a painting, I don't have my painting here, like one of those, but when you look at art, yours, the one yours behind, it's like when you look at art, the art is not complete until the artist say it is complete. Our life is not complete until we say it is complete, right? So in a sense, you know, every single dot, every single thing that goes in there is part of it. And I decide for every single one of you to know that your life is complete. Is this my computer? I'm sorry. Is my computer or yours?
It's yours, but it doesn't matter. It's okay.
All right, let me just pause it here for a second. I hope that you can edit this, but I fucking hate that.
That's okay. I have my dog coming in and I'll edit this part, so no worries.
Okay, so yeah. So let me
take your time. Let me see what she wants.
Here we go. Let me just tell them these people that are waiting for me. Oh, hold on.
You are so cute. You are so
just to wrap it. So let me just come back and do that, the tapestry aspect of it. With the part where you hold your hands and you like the tapestry of it. Yes. So so my invitation for every single one of you is to realize that you are a magnificent tapestry on the making. There's no end, there's no rush, there's no more healing to do. And this is like one of the things that a lot of people are like, well, you need to keep healing. Get out of that train. Right. And get into the train of, I'm enjoying the journey of life. Because healing will happen naturally when you are on the journey of life. But if you are in the journey of healing, ouch, it's like it's heavy for the body itself. So my invitation for every single one of you is to get in the journey of life and experience life as it is, and give yourself permission to everything that you're not giving yourself permission to. That's how we start healing our intimacy at a deeper level, when we tap into the train of journey of life.
Love that. Love that. I you know, you talked before about distractions, and I think, or substitutions, I'm not sure which word you used. And I think sometimes getting into that journey of, oh, I need to do more work, I need to do more self-work, I need to do more this, it's another way to substitute, to just distract ourselves, to not live life.
Yeah.
For, you know, for a future that it may never happen, when we are perfect, when we are all healed, and a hypothetical future that it will never happen, because we, you know, if we are into healing and into self-development, we are women that are evolving. So we are always going to jump to the next level, and we are always jump to the next level. And every single new level brings new areas of growth. So I think it's so important to one day to say, okay, this is enough. I was in that one, you know, in that wagon that, okay, I need to take another class. I need to hire another healer. I need to go to another retreat and all that. And one day it just hit me, and I was like, it's enough. I have done enough work on myself. And it doesn't mean that I am sitting here saying, oh my God, I'm perfect, I don't need any work or anything like that. But it's the intention, the feeling that there was something wrong with me and that I needed to keep fixing it and fixing it and fixing it. And no, there is nothing wrong with us. There is absolutely nothing wrong with us. And there is a point when we have to go ahead and live life and make the mistakes and be vulnerable and explore and stop hiding behind our fears. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing
Yeah,
that.
we are constantly growing, evolving. So thank you for sharing that message to the world. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here with us. I super appreciate it. And I know you have a free gift for the viewers if you want to share it with them.
Well, one of the great things that you have is to book a discovery call with me to
Great.
support like how, what's going on, right? What's going on in your
Great.
life, what's going on in your intimacy. And one of the things I like to tell this up front is this is not a discovery call where I'm going to be in a sales pitch. I am not a salesperson. I don't care if you work with me or you don't work with me. I honestly say that. I really don't care. What I do care is I desire to learn more about you, and I desire to learn like what is blocking you and like what is possible. And a lot of the time my discover calls become like very simple, deep inner coaching calls. And it's like right on the spot. Like I really, with my clients and everything, I don't have time for bullshit. So when you get in a call with me, there's no time for bullshit. Time to do like that inner work, and we'll get there and we'll explore what is possible and what's not, and like what is available to you or not. So that is available. It usually is like a 30 to 45 minutes call. If it go to an hour, I'm okay with that. Because I really desire to help as many, especially many people who can be authentic with themselves, to be real with themselves and be confident in the intimacy, right? I'm an intimacy confident coach. So it's like helping people to be confident in the intimacy at a deeper level, no matter what other people say.
Right. Beautiful. What an opportunity. So the link is going to be underneath this video, and you can click there and book a free coaching call with Lucia. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate you, Natalia.